Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming, bringing you another game review. This time we're checking out Yars Recharged. This game is developed by Atom Vision Studios, Sneaky Box Studios, and published by Atari and released on August 23rd, 2022 for a price of $9.99. So, what is Yars Recharged? Quite simply, it's a shoot 'em up. It's a kind of re-release anniversary style special edition of Yars, which is a very simple shoot 'em up where you basically play on almost one level screens, and while you're playing throughout the game, you can do a couple different things. There's multiplayer, so you can play with you and a friend. There's also different little modifiers that you can do to enable your difficulty, as well as mission modes. Now, the main premise of this game is you have to destroy. It's a little hard to kind of explain what they're called, so I'm just going to kind of do my best description for you. But there's these, like, think of motherships, this little guy up here with the tentacles up top. He controls all these little smaller weapon, gun, turret things, however you want to call them, that vary from shooting bullets to lasers to everything in between. And the way you progress through the stage is ultimately you have to destroy him. Now, you can use your little bullet, pick up little upgrades, as you can see that little square, that give you different kind of guns, or you can get up close and personal and eat the enemy, all while trying to lead up to be able to use your master gun, which is the only way to kill the sort of boss of the stage. Once you complete the stage and kill the boss, now keep in mind, you don't have to kill all the little things, you just have to kill the quote-unquote head of the Hydra. Now, along with shooting, you can also go up and munch on things. You can kind of just go be a little annoying little mosquito and chew on things as well. It's kind of up to you how you want to do these certain things. And that's kind of your main premise of what you need to do to complete out the stage. It takes 2 hits to destroy the little boss, Hydra head, whatever you want to call it, and then be able to progress through the stage. You'll run through a handful of levels and then eventually get to proceed to an additional level to do even more in the game. There's going to be opportunities where there are more heads of the Hydra, like I like to call them, but little kind of like power cores. I really don't know what to call them. They've got this really interesting name that I just can't pronounce, so you're just going to hear me say all kinds of weird random names while we're playing this, and that's just kind of how it's going to be. While you're playing every stage, you're going to get the same kind of health life system. As you can look in the top left of your screen, you get 3 chances to be hit. Once you're hit 3 times, you fail, and boom, that's the end of your run. Now, what you'll want to do while playing is just start to learn the patterns. As you can see, the little head made node brain thing, whatever you really decide to call it now at this point, eventually sends a signal to these little smaller nodes, and those are what allow the smaller nodes to fire. So you can do your best to kind of dodge and avoid those and make it easier for you, but it's just kind of up to you how you want to play. Now, you might be curious as what happens when there's nothing else to shoot. Well, you can always shoot the main head, and that will give you these little yellow pickups. The yellow pickups are kind of what charge your super weapon, and it takes 2 shots, like I said, from the super weapon to kill the sort of noted head. So if you're going to go shoot your super weapon, make sure you clear a pathway off, because anything that you hit might prevent you from proceeding to the next stage. Now, as far as what the game offers, achievement-wise and just kind of in general, it's pretty straightforward and simple. You're going to get a nice evolving set of levels. They're going to give you different challenges and difficulties, all while presenting different and unique kind of enemies, bosses, little nodes, and whatnot while you're playing. Now, every few levels, you're going to be introduced to like new sets and sequences of nodes. We might get to them here on this run, but you know, I probably want to showcase a little bit of the other stuff in the game, so don't expect me to show literally everything off in this video. We do have a gameplay video here on the channel that should show off a little bit of that stuff, so if you really want to see it, you can go do that as well. But the game also features a mission modes. These are unique little 1-level missions that are going to ask you to go through and just kind of do certain specific tasks, and those tasks are then just going to allow you to proceed to the next kind of mission, and so on. There's quite a bit of missions, and there's a few achievements related to said missions, so, you know, it'll give you quite a bit of work to enjoy doing, and they're not anything to be considered as far as pushovers. They are pretty skill intensive and take some time, and, you know, to be honest, they're quite fun, and they're not, things that you're just going to be one and done over within 5 seconds. And especially with a lot of the levels in the game. As you can see here, I am kind of struggling just to get this center node hit because just things keep blocking my shots. And that's kind of the thing that you're just going to have to deal with in the game, is constantly dealing with the ever-evolving things that get in your way and trying to complete out those levels. And it's kind of a rinse-repeat style system. As far as visuals and opinions on the game in that regards, honestly, I love the way this game looks. I never got to play the original one, unfortunately, so this was a new dive into a classical reboot that I've never experienced before, and to be honest, it's been a ton of fun. From just the ease of controls, you only play with 2 analog sticks, you don't really have to do too much else beyond that, and, learning the game and explaining it to somebody is honestly pretty straightforward. Destroy the nodes, shoot with your analog stick, hit the other thing, rinse and repeat, and you're done, and that's kind of it. There's no real complex explaining, and I think anybody can really pick up and play this game with very little effort or learning curve. Now, the game does get challenging, like I said, going into the later levels. It took me a good couple runs before I was able to get into my, 40 plus thousand scores, and there's some pretty impressive people who've managed to nail up some pretty insane leaderboard times. As you can see, this is one of the first levels that gets a little unique, as there's lasers, and if you don't deal with them, you have to basically rotate around the entire obstacle, or you'll just end up dying. And that's one thing that I really enjoy with this game is, like I said, it's very, constantly evolving. It doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over, although you kind of are and you are not at the same time. I'm going to use words I want to use, and it's my video. Um, as far as, like, sound effects and everything, the game works really good. There's nothing too super crazy to call out with any of the audio play in the game. It's, just feels like I'm playing a classic shmup, and it, feels good. My guns feel like they should be making the noise of the guns that I'm shooting, so on and so forth. And, that's kind of just what you come to expect in games like these. As far as anything else really to talk about the game, I do love that the game has in-game achievement track stacking, as well as its own kind of stat tracking. We'll kind of back out here. This is a little bit of those missions that I was talking to you about. You can run through them, try to get your high scores. They just present you very unique and more challenging little layouts while you're playing. And everything has leaderboard systems, so you can kind of see how you rank up between you and your friends. And, try to best everybody. I got a couple friends playing the game, so maybe I can try to knock them out. The game also features a tutorial if you are new and really want to struggle, as well as, like I said, modifiers that can adjust and affect the difficulty levels that you play at. Overall, I think Yars Revenge is a great game, especially coming in at just $10. As far as shmups and things like that on the console, there hasn't been too many, like, crazy WoW games that have hit lately, and especially for $10, this was a game that I didn't have on my radar, and I'm really glad we got the opportunity to check out, and I hope that you will consider checking it out. It should be available in the Xbox Store now. Outside of that, if you have any questions, want to know more about the game, or stuck on anything, please let me know down below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the review, consider subscribing, and we'll catch you next time.